Hey, good folks. Now for tomorrow morning's Spilling Tea episode. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And once again, folks, we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we get going, a few of the usual disclaimers. First off, you are going to see the link to this article right there in the description box, alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistico's massive archive on the subject, and the templates. You know the drill, folks. Sign your name, click on your senator. Any ever present, self-explanatory, change.org, shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. When we talk about the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of, catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, guys, please use your headphones, alright? It is 4:36. I am exhausted. We're cutting it short today, so let's get to it, shall we? If I stumble over my words, just forgive me, alright? Okay. A note on terminology. In this paper, I use predominantly identity first language as opposed to people first language. I'll get into that maybe sometime during open chat. The reader will note that I use terms autistic, disabled, and neurodivergent. As an autistic person myself, this is the terminology I am the most comfortable with because it acknowledges that autism and other forms of neurodivergence are an essential aspect of identity and that it cannot be separated from an individual in a way that the person first language attempts. Brown 2011, Sinclair 2013, and Ladau 2014, and Leibowitz 2015. It also acknowledges the history of the social model of disability, which differentiates between impairment and disability, with impairment being the physical, sensory, or mental difference, which in and of itself is often not a source of disability, and the disability which arises from physical, social, and attitudinal barriers, even while acknowledging that this model is incomplete and often does not reflect the messy reality of disability and of disabled lives. Crow, 1996. When referring to intellectual disability, at times I use the phrase labeled with preceding intellectual disability to acknowledge the contested history of this term and the preferences of some who have attracted to this label. People First, 2017. Utilizing language used by its self-advocates, I use person-first language when discussing intellectual disability. Leibowitz, 2015, People First, 2017. I will briefly provide the reader with an overview of the distinction between the theme park, which is discussed herein, and the amusement park. The reader will notice that I use the term theme park almost exclusively in this paper. According to King and to O'Boyle 2011, the two words are often used interchangeably but actually refer to distinct places. According to King and Boyle, the theme park refers to a social network designed as a four-dimensional symbolic landscape, which functions by arousing in guests the feelings evoked by imaginary or historical places and times. While the amusement park is centered around immediate physical gratification, the theme park is much more focused on the creation of a geographical storyboards that move visitors from scene to scene, as in the Disney parks, rather than ride to ride, as is more characteristic of places like amusement parks, King and O'Boyle. It's like that Silver Dollar City has a theme to it. It's historical, and we're talking 1800s Ozarks. Tends to be the overall theme throughout the park, so I know what they're going with here. Where they do bring you to the rides, of course. All that has the theme. You got Time Traveler, you got Thunderation, you've got, oh my gosh, the Lost River used to be one of them. Great American Shootout. It's all themed, so I know where they're going here. But I'll move on. Sorry. As has been noted by many scholars writing about the layout of the Disney theme parks, they were initially designed by filmmakers, what Disney called Imagineers, rather than architects, and the focus is always on plot, characters, and the use of space and architecture as a way to tell a narrative and envelop visitors in a story. Thelma 1992, King and O'Boyle 2011, Lucas 2016. Because of this important difference in function and design between theme park and amusement park, the reader will notice I rely on the term theme park and do not use the two terms interchangeably, though the reader will notice that some of the individuals I quote do. Okay, so this one's going to be relatively quick then, because I don't want to go into another brief history of the JRC and draw this out. It's been a long day. It's been a very long day. So why would somebody like the JRC rely on the theme park idea? Let's explore this a little bit. Excuse me. Wrong pipe. What are they trying to do here? To suck you in. They're trying to suck you in. Here's the thing though. It's relatively difficult to suck an autistic in. Know what I'm saying? It is both one of the easiest things to do and one of the most extremely difficult things to do all at the same time. Because what draws in an autistic? Our special interests, right? Right? So, say you're an autistic going into this school, and you hate Disney, and you do not like The Wizard of Oz because of the flying monkeys. Say you can't stand upbeat music. Me as a teenager. Just saying. That means you failed already. Because you can suck us in if it is a point of interest. You can even dupe us, especially when we're younger. But, and this is a huge but, folks. Huge but. If you're trying to draw us into a story that we're not interested in, you got nothing, folks. At that point, you literally do have to force us to be a part of that story because we're not interested, we're not buying what you're selling. The reason why I've loved Silver Dollar City over the years and why I'm so nostalgic for it is I've been a huge history nerd all my life. And I know a lot of their stuff is just nonsense that they do out there. But they do a lot of historical stuff that is on point, such as the glass blowing, the making of the chitlins and how that was done back in the day, the storytelling and the woodworking the way it used to be done in the 1800s that they'd still do inside the park to this day. Sucks me right in every time, even though I've seen it a million times. But a place like this, nah. Nah, Karen. Not interested. So, where the JRC goes wrong here, and again, I'll say it to you, they weren't trying to appeal to the students that are actually going to be in there. They're trying to appeal to neurotypical students, which is, I don't understand. That's the big divide. You gotta stop thinking of autistic children and disabled children of wanting all the same things as neurotypical children and just not being able to reach out. No. We tell you, and loudly I might add, the sort of things that do draw us in. But we are ignored by and large a good majority of the time and told what it is we should like. And then you try to force us and draw us in. I've seen it time and again. That's just talking about the design. And this is just coming from me. Here's somebody who's helped develop design for an opposite school here. Appealing like that to someone my disability, unless that person really loves Disney, and there's a few. I'm not dissing Disney except for their crap behavior towards JD, that fucking bastards. Neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying. You get where I'm coming from. And on that note, folks, I'm going to close out for tonight. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time tonight, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, all.